Welcome back to The Power and the Glory. Today we're going to have a quick look at betrayal and how to deal with it, and how it can actually drive benefit to our lives. Well, the impact of betrayal can be seismic in our lives. And why is this? It's because most of the betrayal that we'll all encounter will come from those very close to us, as with Judas as he betrayed Jesus. And Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane when he said this to his disciples in Matthew chapter 26, verse 21. And as they were eating, he said, "Truly I say to you, one of you shall betray me." And being sorely grieved, each of them began to say to him, "Am I the one, Lord?" Every time we sin, we betray God the Father and Jesus Christ. It's a betrayal to them. We betray that intimacy to them, just as Judas did. And it starts in the mind, in our thoughts. It's not a betrayal of them, but it's also not only a betrayal of them, but it's also a betrayal of our faith. But the good news is that betrayal is able to be forgiven through repentance. Now, in this way, Judas Iscariot could technically have been saved if he'd repented, but he didn't. If he'd repented and changed his ways. So how do we get through betrayal? Well, we've got to acknowledge the betrayal on both sides. We've got to be honest and discuss why it happened, and seek and understand what can be learned. Set protocols and boundaries before trusting somebody fully again, and examine their actions, because actions, actually, to use a pun, betray somebody's character. How can we build through betrayal? Well, we can learn how to better assess and vet relationships and people, become more wary about fully trusting others, accept that our values as individuals, though, are not dependent on the actions of others, realize that only God can be fully trusted, and as I said, really look at somebody's actions to really decipher what they're truly like. So, are there any benefits to betrayal? Well, it can be a catalyst for personal growth. It can force you to confront your own vulnerabilities and develop enhanced self-awareness, and to build resilience in the face of others. And God can use betrayal as a catalyst for his own plan. The Bible often shows how God works through human betrayal. Out of the challenge, he achieves a benefit. And with Joseph's case, his brother's treachery led him to Egypt, where he eventually rose to power and saved his entire family from famine. So what the devil plans, God can use to his advantage. But the big thing is that we've got to always remember is betrayal is a very human thing. It's going to happen to all of us. And when it does, we've got to be kind and be forgiving to those that have actually trespassed and betrayed us, just trespassed against us and betrayed us. So we see here in Mark 5:44 what Jesus says. "But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which spitefully use you and persecute you."